I'm Teacher Robin. Welcome to another live streaming class. If this is your first time to join us today, let me tell you how the classes work. Today we're going to be talking about pet vocabulary in English. So if you want to participate in the class, you can write your question or comment in the comment section. So you can introduce yourself, tell us where you're from, or as we go along throughout the class, if you have a question, then you can write your question in the comment section. And at the end of the lesson, I will ask you a few questions and again, participate by writing in the comments. So today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite topics because I love pets. I have a dog myself, and if you love animals and you have an animal at home, then it's important when you're traveling, for example, or if you move to an English-speaking country, to know the correct vocabulary for your pet. So I'm going to take you through all of that. All right, let's start by talking about pet pronouns. I know this sounds kind of silly, but many people ask, so when I'm talking about an animal, do I use the pronoun it or do I use the pronoun he or she? And the answer is that both are correct. Now, if you love your pet, you tend to use more of the assigned pronoun he or she, but it's perfectly correct to say it for an animal. It, I have a dog, it is 4 years old, or he is 4 years old. All right? Now, let's make one differentiation again between the noun pet and the verb to pet. So today our topic is pet. So what is a pet? A pet is an animal that you have in your home. So this could be a dog, a cat, a rabbit, etc. So this is the noun, a pet. So if you ask about someone's pets, you're asking about their animals. Okay? And the verb to pet means to touch an animal. So if you scratch them, if you touch them on the head, you are petting them. Okay? So like this motion here, this is to pet. So I pet my dog on the head, for example. All right, let's go through the process. Say you are thinking about getting a pet. How can you go about doing this? So what you can do, you can go to an animal shelter. This is what it's called, a place that keeps animals that have maybe been abandoned or they don't have a home. So what you can do is you go to the animal shelter, you ask, I would like to have a dog, I would like to have a cat, and you can adopt one. Or if you don't have time or if you're not ready to have the animal full-time, then you can foster the pet, which means that you keep them with you until they find another family. Okay? So let's say you adopt a dog or you adopt a cat and you take them home with you. What items are you going to need? You're going to need to buy a few things before you bring them home. So the collar, this, for dogs and cats alike, is the thing that goes around their neck. Normally you have some sort of a tag with their name on it. Okay, so you need to buy them a collar. A leash, especially for dogs, if you're going to walk them, you need to buy a leash. Okay, another option instead of a collar or in addition to a collar is a harness. So this is something that goes all the way around the body of the dog, and it's a little bit easier to walk them, especially if they pull when you're walking. All right, so you have these options, and you might wonder, what do I need to feed them? So you need to buy either dry food or canned food. So dry food is the kind of small pieces that comes in a big bag, or the canned food will come in cans and it's going to have like different kinds of meat, etc. All right, so in order for your dog or your cat, etc., to eat, you need to buy them either a dish or a bowl. So you'll need one for the food and another one for their water. All right, if you have a cat, then you're going to need to buy a litter box for them. So this is the box that they use to go to the bathroom. So you'll need to purchase a litter box for your cat. And of course, you probably want to buy some treats. So this is like candy for animals that you can give them as a reward when they are good, or just because you want to give them to them. So that's a good idea to have treats Okay, so this is kind of the must-have. Obviously, there are even more things that you want to get, maybe a bed, depending on where they're going to sleep, things like that, toys, all kinds of stuff. Let's look at now. One thing you're going to need to do with your animal is you need to take them to the veterinarian. Okay, so when you first get them, you want to take them to the veterinarian. This is a doctor for animals. So a doctor for animals is called a veterinarian, and you can also shorten it to just vet. So you take your animal to the vet. So if you want to see if everything is okay, you want to check, you take them for a checkup. Okay, and the most common thing that they will do, they will make sure that they have their vaccinations. Okay, these are the shots to protect them from diseases. And you'll also need to buy some sort of parasite protection or flea and tick protection. So the parasite one is probably like a pill or something that you'll put in their food. And the flea and tick protection is something that you will put on the outside on their fur. So you have to make sure your animal, your dog, your cat is protected from all of these things. And your veterinarian will give you all that information. Okay, so I see several people are joining us already. We have Marvin and Lucia. They say hello. Okay, tell us where you're joining from, Marvin and Lucia. Now let's move on to traveling with pets. So maybe you're planning a vacation and you want to take your dog with you, for example. So what do you need to have in order to travel with your pet? A few things. You will need, if you're traveling in the car, you'll need a carrier crate or a kennel. So this is sort of like a big box, basically, that the animal goes in, that you'll put in the trunk or in the back part of your car that they can travel in. So this is important to have in your car. And depending on where you're going, like if you're traveling from one country to another, you actually need to get a passport for your animal. This is just like as humans, we have passports. Well, animals need to have passports too. And that's because when you enter a country, you have to show the vaccination record. So they have to make sure that all the shots are up to date for your dog or your cat. Okay, so make sure that you check into these things. Again, you can ask your veterinarian, what do I need to travel to France, for example, with my dog? And they'll have all the information that you need. Okay, so now I want to practice. Now that I've given you some pet vocabulary, I want you to tell me about your pets if you have one. I want you to tell me, do you have a pet? What kind? And what is his or her name? So before you get started, I want to introduce you to my pet. So this is my dog. His name is Mojito. He is 6 years old. He's medium size, okay? So when we talk about the size, we can say he's small, he's medium, he's large, a large-sized dog, okay? He is mixed breed, so the breed is the kind of dog. If they're purebred, then you say maybe he's a Labrador or he's a like a border collie, etc. If they're mixed breed, it means that they're a mix of all kinds of different dogs, for example. And Mojito, or Mo as I call him, is adopted from a shelter. So maybe if you have a pet, you can share the same information with us in the comments. Okay, so I look forward to reading about your pets. And if you have any other questions, something that I didn't mention about pets, feel free to ask in the comments again. So as you're writing, let me tell you more about our course here at ABBA. If you're just joining us, we have so many different resources for you to study with us here at ABBA. We have a complete course from beginners to business level. And if you study on the app, so we have a web version and an app version. If you download the app, you can also take advantage of our live English feature where you have new content being posted every day, articles, videos, exercises, all kinds of really good content for you to practice your English. And we are available on all of the social media networks, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. We are updating those channels every day with new content. We also have a blog called our ABBA Journal, and there you can find articles about every topic that you can imagine related to English. Travel, business, etc. So lots of really good content available for you to study with us here at ABBA. Okay, so let's see who has written a comment. People are saying hello from many different countries. That's great. Burundi, Lebanon, and Uruguay. Okay, so we have many countries covered. Okay, someone has written about their pet. Mustafa used to have a cat named Roni. Okay, thanks for sharing, Mustafa. Yes, so I look forward to hearing more. I see more people are writing about their pets, so just a second as we gather those comments. And I hope that this class, again, has been useful for you. I hope that this has given you some pet vocabulary that you can use in the future. Okay, we have another one. Ingrid Lopez, my dog's name is Mancha, so that means like spot in English. He is medium size and he is mixed. Okay, good. Thanks for sharing, Ingrid. I think maybe, do we have another one? One more? All right, before we finish, one more. Again, if you want to keep participating in the comments, that's great. I will check all of your comments later on today. Okay, another one. Eve, she says, I have 2 mixed breed pets. Fantastic. Their names are Akira and Morgana. Okay, some very cool names. I like that. All right, do we have another comment? Okay, people are still writing. Perfect. So I want to thank everyone who has joined today. Let me tell you about next week's class. We're going back to a more grammatical topic. We're going to talk about how to say and write the date. So this is important in English because it differs between British and American English. So it's important to know which one you're using. Otherwise, it can be confusing. So stay tuned next week, same time for this class, how to say and write the date in English. So, okay, I see we have a couple more comments. Let's see. Okay, I love hearing about people's pets. As you can tell, this is my favorite topic. Okay, we have Adil. He says, my dog's name is Lucky. Okay, that's a very popular name for a dog. A lot of people name their dog Lucky. Okay, great. So let's finish up. And I really appreciate everyone who has joined today, and I can't wait to read more comments about your pets. So remember, next week, how to talk about the date in English. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!